So I'm here with Bob Banner from HopeDance magazine. Mr. Banner, would you just tell me a little bit about yourself and what you do?
About myself. Born in Michigan, came out to California in the 70s. I think that information is really powerful, so I seem to have been drawn to getting information out. Been a publisher a number of times, probably maybe 30 years of publishing. From conspiracy magazines to local magazines to the HopeDance magazine. And about 15 years ago I started showing films. I went, wow, you can show films. I went to the Palm Theater and I asked him, I says, can you show this film? Because I didn't know much about the technology. And he says, yeah, we've got a video projector. So I said, cool, can I rent your space? And he says, yeah. So, and there were 100 people that came to see this particular film, and I got so excited, not only that I was getting some information that I wanted to get out to more people, because usually I represent sort of odd or fringe or progressive, fringe sometimes. It all depends. Either spiritual films or green films or anyway, so I really got into it and I wanted to show films more and more and more, and I decided to buy my own equipment so we could show films at the library. So it was less money than renting a theater because I didn't want to lose money. But yeah, and there's so many documentaries that are coming out. It's almost as if there's more documentaries out when the mainstream press is not doing its job of reporting certain things. And Michael Moore attested to that, came out with a film, and I think it grew a lot of new filmmakers to come out and say, I want to study about something, I want to do a documentary on this, I want to search for things that the mainstream press isn't doing.
What are some things that you think that the mainstream press isn't covering right now?
Well, for obviously the war and the reason why we're over there. So there's been tons of films that have exposed that. The banking system, fortunately, the film that came out, Inside Job, won an award, which blew me away. Usually those are the films that barely get into the independent theaters, which are rarer and rarer.
So most of your videos seem like they have a pretty strong social or activism component to it. What is your goal with screening the movies? Just to, foster awareness, or do you want people to take action, or do you have a goal?
What my intention is to, let's say if it is a social issue, specifically a social issue, I'd like to have some experts in the community who can talk. Like we showed Vanishing of the Bees, for example, and we had 6 local beekeepers to answer people's questions. It blew me away that so many people in the audience really wanted to do bees. They might not have known that but they were curious enough to come in and see a film about the colony collapse disorder. So that was very, very uplifting because people saw that there was a problem, came to see a film that expressed the problem as well as solutions.
And we can find out information about what videos you're going to be screening and when they are and everything on your HopeDance website, right?
Yeah, and also I have a films listserv. There's about 1,200 people on it. So I send out an email letting people know when I'm showing films. I show them in Ventura, Santa Barbara, SLO.
Have you found that these screenings have sort of started to foster their own community? Do you get a lot of the same people coming back and, making bonds with each other, or do you see new faces all the time?
I'm trying to see, this is why I'm doing so many different films, because they're different films. So let's say last month I had a spiritual comedy, plus I had a food film, then I had a spiritual film. So I'm trying to bridge various gaps, because a lot of times the spiritual people hang out with themselves. Sometimes the sustainability people hang out with themselves. Sometimes the bike people will just hang out with themselves. And it's a tribal thing. It's hard to, we've got this thing to be needed, to be accepted. So a lot of times that's just a few people.
And so people who come to these screenings, they can buy an all-day pass and see all of the videos, right?
For this one, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, $20 for all day. That's for 6 films. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Because typically that might cost you $60 or $50.
So can we talk a little bit more about HopeDance magazine, about how you're affiliated with that?
Started off as a community-based publication because I had done an international magazine and I just didn't want the pressures. I just walked away from it. It was just way too much ambition. So waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning, what front cover should I use? What's going to grab people's attention? You know, how do I sell? And all that kind of stuff. So went through some personal changes, came to San Luis Obispo, and decided, okay, this is going to be different. I'm just going to do it hometown. You know, I'm kind of a reclusive person, so how am I going to find the cool people in the area? I didn't want to go glossy, I didn't want to go national anymore, I just wanted to stay here in this area, and I branched out to 3 other counties, Ventura and Santa Barbara.
So a lot of newspapers and things seem like they're trending in the same way that you did, where they used to focus on bigger national or international issues, but they're starting to be more refined and concentrate on local and hyper-local issues. How do you feel about that?
Oh, I like it. Yeah, more local papers, the local advertising, the local scenes.
Well, if you could wrap this up with one thing that you want to say, it can be, you know, a plug for your videos or just a message that you would like to get across, would be.
If I have a gift, is that I can see a lot. I may not be able to see so much the picayune microscopic, but I want to see conversations that include a lot more.